Hey, what's up, YouTuber? It's Free to Play Gaming here again. I was just checking out one of the viewers' monsters. Hey, it's Matt. He wanted me to take a quick look at his monsters, and I figured it'd be easier if I just record it and post it on YouTube because you'll probably get a lot more out of it. It's a lot more difficult to type everything that I suggest to him than it would be for me to just make a quick video and post this out there. And I think this is useful information for a lot of other viewers too. It might be incorrect information because I don't always know what's going on with this stuff, and I'm just taking my best guess at a lot of these monsters. But let's take a look at his monsters here and see if we can't give him some advice. And if anybody who's watching this has better advice for any of these monsters, please post that too. I'm sure he would appreciate it, and the rest of the viewers would like to know, if I get something wrong, don't be afraid to correct me on it. So, okay, so it looks like he's got a 5-star arena here. Let's take a look at his runes. Okay, we got Endure runes, Resistance, and Hit Point runes, Energy. So that's good. I see a lot of 3-star percent runes. That's good. Hit point percent, hit point percent, hit point percent. Good stuff here. Um, this is really good to have this resistance. If you want this arena to be on a defense team, which they usually are used for, very cool here. I got no recommendations for this, except, if you can get some 6-star runes, percent runes, of course that's going to boost this character up a lot. I don't know if you use this character much. I don't use mine, uh, especially seeing as how on my defense team I'm only running one monster for the majority of the week, just so that I can farm more glory points easier. So I don't even worry about my defense team. I just worry about my arena offense team, and if I do get good enough where I want to go for, top 10,000, which I probably could do if I had the time to do it. If I want to take a stab at getting to the next bracket, which is the top 10,000 players, then maybe I would work on a defense team. So okay, that your arena looks good. Um, so you got the Water Joker, Cyan here or Cyan. Okay, let's take a look. You got Fatal Blade, attack percent, attack percent, attack percent. Good stuff. I'm seeing a lot of 3-star runes, which is, I recommend that because it's easier to get these to plus 12. It's a lot cheaper to do your 3-star runes than it is to do a 5-star rune like this one. But if you got a good attack percent 5-star rune and you got the money, go for it. So this is good. I'd like to see this plus 12 as well once you get the money for it. Definitely prioritize getting this one to plus 12. This is already plus 12 attack attack. This is a good monster here. I want to take a look at this character's skills because I've never leveled one, so I'm not really sure if Fatal Blade's the right runes for this. So let's just take a quick look. So he's got a passive here, revives with invincibility, immunity for 1 turn. Okay, that's a good skill. Summons a surprise box that deals damage and inflicts random weakening conditions to all enemies. So there's no percent here, so no reason to use focus runes. So far, I'm thinking Fatal Blade's a good choice for this monster. Throws a sharp card to attack and disrupts the enemy's hit point recovery for 2 turns with a 70% chance. So, yeah, it makes sense to me. Definitely to use Fatal Blade on this monster, especially if you're going for attack. The only thing I would say as well for people who are watching, we got an AoE attack here. So if you don't have any stun monsters on your arena offense team, violent focus runes would be an option here as well. So cool, I'm looking. Looks like you got a couple skill ups. You got 1 skill up there. So it looks like you've already fed a Devilmon or another Joker to this monster. So cool, right on. Copper, we got the Wind Living Armor here. I don't know too much about this monster actually. I've seen him used. They're real good. Black Bear uses them in his videos, and he's real good in arena. He's better than me with his arena team. So that's probably where you got the idea for this one from. Let's take a look at what runes it has. You got resistance, and you got guard runes for defense. So yeah, I think that totally makes sense what you got going on here because this is like a defensive unit, very difficult to kill. Right off the bat, this makes sense to me. So you got defense percent, hit point percent, defense percent. If you're using this character quite a bit on your teams right now, which you probably are, you have 4 or 5 stars right now, I'm seeing, but they're good 5 stars for the most part, depending on what team you're building. So try to get these two here to plus 12. That would be good. So we'll just move right on. I think you're doing the right thing on that monster here. Let's take a look at the skills. Okay, so you have fed some other living armors to this wind armor. That's good. Looks like you fed 4 of them. As you get them, keep feeding them to this monster. Makes sense. Those are only 3-star monsters, so you should be able to skill up this monster to full max skills without too much trouble. It'll take a while, though. Okay, so you got JoJo, the Fire Joker here. Good monster. I haven't ruined mine yet, so it'll be interesting to see what you did. Looks like you did Fatal Blade again. That's probably the suggested build. I'm going to be ruining mine soon, so I want to take a look at the skills as well and refresh myself on them. So, Fire Magic. Summons a wall of fire and inflicts continuous damage for 3 turns. I believe this is an AoE attack. Not 100% positive. I need to work on mine as well, so let's just assume it's an AoE attack. Mounts a bomb on all enemies, which detonates after 2 turns. See, I wonder if this is like an AoE attack. So I wonder if you put violent runes on this character, if when you put the bombs on, if that would have the 25% chance to stun each of the 4 monsters. If anybody knows the answer to that, let me know, because it'd be interesting, I think, to make a stunning monster out of this JoJo. But it's a defense monster. That's interesting. But it still does have high attack. And with these bombs, pretty sure it makes sense to go with Fatal Blade. So that's cool. And then the generic Joker attack disrupts the enemy's hit points with a 70% chance, same as your Water Joker there. So with these runes, you got a plus 10, you got a plus 12, another plus 12, so good. I'm sure you know, just like your other runes, work on this one. These are 8s, definitely go for 9s at least on these ones. These ones, it makes sense if you have a focus runes that are 5-star, you should be able to farm those. It makes sense to go with 5-star runes in the slots 1, 3, and 6 because the benefits are a lot greater. It makes sense to go with 3-star runes in slots 2, 4, and 6. So good stuff here. I don't know these characters enough to give you much more advice than what I already have. So Alucia here, I've never even leveled mine. I cut her out of my team fairly early. But it looks like you got fatal energy going on here. You probably don't use this character as much as you used to, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. The runes definitely need some leveling. Looks like you got percent runes though, so that's definitely a good thing. I would probably drop this monster from your team, pretty much any team right now, because you have enough other good monsters. It looks like to me it doesn't really make a lot of sense to be working on her. She can be good. A lot of people will 5-star her, but I'll tell you, in arena battles, she goes down pretty quickly. So I don't have too much advice for her. This is probably a decent rune set. Your Megan, most important. I would focus on her right away if you want to improve in arena. I've given this advice to other players. You got your Swift runes here, awesome. Definitely try to get yourself a 5-star. You can farm a 5-star speed rune. That's the most important. You definitely want it to be a 5-star because it's not a percent rune here. So you're going to get a lot more benefit if it's a 5-star over a 3-star. So I would do that right off the bat. I would try to do that. And this is good. It's got an attack percent. But your Megan's going to do crappy damage no matter what. You don't have her on your team for attack, for doing any kind of damage. So although this is a good rune here, and it's 3-star, in this case, seeing as how it's not a percent rune, you definitely want to make a 5-star here. So focus Swift, that's good. Good stuff. Accuracy, cool. Make this at least a 9-star. Go for 12 if you can. You know, substats look good. Plus 10% resistance, that's good. You know, you can't really focus too much on the substats when you're just starting out in this game. Runes are hard to come by as it is to get the main stat that you want, so I don't focus too much on the substats. You got hit points here. That's perfect. You know, that's what you want. You want speed, hit points, accuracy. So, oh cool, you got a 6-star here. Definitely start throwing some pluses on this thing. I mean, it doesn't cost much to get it plus 6, so do that as soon as possible. That's going to cost you pennies. And definitely go for a 5-star here. If you do that and you throw this Megan on your team, this is a low-level rune. Definitely get some pluses up here. You know, this is one of the ones you're going to want a 5-star if you can. 4 stars okay if that's the only slot 5 Swift rune that you have. But yeah, definitely, you know, these could be 5 stars. That's not going to hurt anything. But main thing to focus on, this needs to be a 5-star. Go for a 5-star here. And then, like this rune, definitely do at least plus 6 as soon as you can. Throw this Megan on your team. I think she should be your next 5-star too, if that's one of your questions. Definitely go for 5-star Megan. Okay, enough about Megan. I would focus on her as much as you can though. Don't know too much about this monster, the Water Hellhound Tark. You know, Fatal Blade, that makes sense, especially with his, I think it's this skill, Group Hunt, 2 fellow allies. This is a pretty crazy skill right here. But both these monsters are going to go down like sacks of potatoes. They're natural 2-star monsters, and Saik's good, but now that you got your Megan here, don't worry about your Saik anymore. I wouldn't. Not for arena battles, at least, and that's where most of my advice is geared towards, is offensive arena battles. So I'm not going to really look at these. I'm sure you got Fatal Blade on this guy as well. Yep, cool. So you got attack percent runes. That's good stuff. What I would do, because tomorrow is going to be rune removal day, so if you have enough room in your inventory for your runes, you know, pick the monsters in order. So take the runes off of these ones if they're pretty decent runes. Take your runes off and then start putting them on your monsters, the ones that you want to prioritize in your team. So first probably your Megan, then probably your JoJo here. Make sure he has the best runes possible. Then maybe your Water Joker if you really like him, and your Wind Armor, you know. You probably don't need to mess with these runes because these are kind of unique. I don't think you have any other monsters using resistance. I could be wrong, but resistance and defense runes, guard runes. So you can probably just leave him alone during the rune removal event. Okay, so you got your Windrock Shasa here, Yen. You awakened her, that's cool. So let's take a look at her skills, because I'm not super familiar. It's been a little while since I've seen one of these. Get an extra turn with a 15% chance when the turn is over. So that's good. That's kind of like Rauk, sorta. Attacks 3 times in a row and inflicts continuous damage for 2 turns if you land a critical hit. So critical hits are pretty good for this monster. Attacks the enemy with a whip, decreasing the enemy's attack speed for 2 turns with a 50% chance. So focus would help this skill. So let's take a look at what you have for runes. You got 2 sets of blade, and then you got 2 violence. That's kind of odd. So I don't think violent is the right rune set. Oh, get an extra turn. Okay. So violent may be the right rune set, but I don't know why you have 2 of them on here instead of 4. I'm not going to focus on this monster because you probably aren't focusing on her either. And with these monsters, you know, she wouldn't be next in line for me. I don't know too much what to help you out here with. Critical rate, you're definitely okay. So you got a critical rate rune here. That makes sense for the 4th slot. That's the only slot that can have a critical percent rate rune. Okay, so do what you will with this monster. My opinion is try to get. Not really sure. Can't really give you too much advice. This guy right here, Wind Bounty Hunter. I don't recommend him to any other players, any players. Looks like he got Fatal Blade again. You know, that's a real solid rune set. Fatal Blade, especially on arena offense. So, looks like you're doing the right things here. Looks like you were working on this monster before you got some of these other monsters too as far as runes go. They look pretty lower level. Not going to focus on him. Let's take a look at some of the other monsters you have and see if there's any diamonds in the rough that we can get into your team here. So Water Succubus, I don't know too much about this Water Succubus, but in general, I haven't read any comments that say any of the Succubuses are that good. I have a fire one, and she's got some AoE attacks, but in general, I haven't used her too much. I've had other monsters to focus on, and it looks like you do too. So let's take a look at her skills though real quick. Attacks the enemy 4 times with multiple bats and recovers hit points by 50% of the inflicted damage. So, because she's attacking one person 4 times, if you put a violent rune on her, she would have a really good chance to stun a single monster, which is interesting. She would be a good for like some dungeon battles. Strike of Rejection slaps the enemy in the face and disrupts their hit point recovery for 2 turns. Critical damage if the enemy is sleeping, so that's nothing real special there. Puts the enemy to sleep for 50% chance, you know. That's kind of like a stun. So that's kind of cool. She could be good. You know, she's an attack monster. She might be worth using if you don't pull any other better monsters in your next Mystical Scrolls. But I think I've given you enough advice on those monsters to run with. Don't know much about this guy, the Dark Werewolf here. But I guess now's as good a time to learn now that we're looking at him here. He looks awesome. I love this dark fire coming out of his shoulders there and his red eyes. It's a cool looking monster. So you got full energy on him. He is a hit point monster, so this makes sense. I have a water werewolf who was actually pretty good when I was in mid game, and I threw hit point runes on him as well, and he was hard to kill. So I want to see this guy's skills here. Passive. When struck with a critical hit, you deal 10% of your max hit points as damage and inflict continuous damage for 3 turns to the attacker. That's a pretty cool skill. Especially, you got all hit point runes. That makes total sense. So just with this right here, with his passive, it makes sense to do all hit point runes on him. Looks like you're doing a good job on that. He might be, I don't know. You know, he's probably not going to have as much hit points as, 10% of his max hit points is probably not going to be that good of an attack, though. That's what kind of stinks. And if I haven't heard of him yet, he must not stand out that much. Dashes towards the enemy, inflicting damage 2 times. Each attack has a 30% chance to stun. So he's got stuns on top of this, but it's a single target stun, so it's not that powerful. Disrupts the enemy's hit point recovery for 1 turn. Okay, so I like this skill and I love his passive. This guy might be a really good arena defense monster. I would consider making him a 5-star as well after you do your Megan. And not really sure. But he's definitely not a bad monster. It's cool that I got to see this guy here and see his skills. Taru. Okay, so you guys are kind of noticing right now, I don't have a lot of experience with some of these rare monsters. Not sure where you got these two. Probably from Light Dark Scrolls, maybe? Okay. So he's an attack monster, but he's an imp. But he's a light imp, so he's a little bit rarer. But I just kind of want to see what he's all about. So he's probably a natural 2-star. Maybe a 3-star. Probably a 3-star. So okay, you got rage runes on here for critical damage. Extra critical damage. You got critical rate, so you got blade rage. His skills must focus around that. It seems like you got a pretty good grasp on this game for sure. Launches an attack that penetrates the enemy's guard. This attack receives a 50% critical rate bonus. Okay, so when you do this Furious Pierce, it's a single target attack. You have critical rate at 40 right now, so you're taking full advantage of that extra 50% to get you to 90%. That's good. Throws a light ball and stuns the enemy for 1 turn, so another stun. Single target though. Attacks the enemy with a spear and increases the attack speed for 2 turns if you get a critical hit. So increasing your monster's attack speed if you get a critical hit. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything too special with this guy, but he's unique, he's cool. Kind of a neat monster. I like to have some of those neat monsters there. Boy, you got Oh, okay. So you probably farmed him from a special dungeon. Yeah, you can get this monster on Sundays, I believe, is the light dungeon. I might be wrong on that. But yeah, you can get him, you can get the Saik, you can get the light Saik. I'm not even going to really take a look at them. I don't recommend any of these 3-star monsters, really, now that you have some 4-star monsters. Um, just glancing through them real quick. Yep, pretty much fodder in my opinion. Definitely save your werewolf. I would feed that werewolf to your dark werewolf just because he's cool and unique. And I don't know, maybe you can get these 3-star werewolves from a special dungeon when it's the dark element. I don't know, maybe. If so, I might get one of these guys for fun. Maybe you can get one of these liches too. I'm not sure. What's his leader skill? Attack power of allies with dark attribute. Okay, that's nothing special. You're not going to have a full dark team. All right, well, those were my basic recommendations there. Hope it helped. I kind of got a little off topic and just looking at monsters at the end, but it looks like you're doing a real good job. Not a lot to suggest except, work on this Megan here. Keep doing what you're doing. It looks good. So, take care, guys. Hopefully, I'm sure a lot of other people are going to watch this video too, so hope you learned something and keep on helping people out in channel 5001. It's awesome. That channel's really got a lot of talk going on lately, even though I haven't had too much time to really butt in and help too many people. But appreciate all your support and help. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more great videos. I really appreciate it. Take care, everyone. Bye.